Here I just write home.html. Now I need to create home.html. Okay. I need to create home.html. Okay. So create a folder called templates. And inside the templates, I'm creating what is that home.html. Inside the templates, I define this home.html. So this is a views. Okay, we'll just see it. Okay, now after that, I'm just writing it now. There is a division, and here I'm just writing some h2. Okay, now this is home page. I just give a message called something. So Naresh Technologies. Okay, so this is called as which page here? Home page. Okay, now after that, what will I do is now nothing you have written here. You just define only which name, template name. And what is the template name is home.html. The template name is home.html. And just go to some settings.py and then define the template path. Okay. So install the application. And after installing the application, okay, define the template path. So this is nothing but base directory slash, and here I write templates. Now you are searching for this template in this particular path. Okay. Okay. So here you define only template name. Means are you writing the same code again and again? No. Getting on not. So who write the get method? View class. So template view is inherited from which class? View class. And view is having a request methods or not? Yes. View is having a request methods. View is having a request methods. Then after that, define the URL. After that, define the URL application one dot views. Now import home view or home page view. And here I'm writing a path. Okay, home. Path home. What is the name of the view is home page view as a view. You are converting this class into a callable function. And that function will create object of which class? Yes, class-based view, and then invoke dispatch method. And that dispatch method identifies is it request method is a get or post. If the request method is a get, then it will call get method. If the request method is post, then it call post method. If the request method is get, it calls a get method. If the request method is post, then it calls a post method. Okay. So Python manage.py and okay, run the server. I'm saying run server. But here we are not sending any context values. We are not sending any context values. Okay. So what is the name of the URL is home. Now you can see Naresh Technologies. But are you written any code here? No. You just define only the properties. What is the property you define? Template name. What is the property you define? Template name. Okay, template name. Only the property defined is template name. For example, in the template, inside the template, I want to insert some data. Inside the template, I want to insert data. Then generally, if you want to insert the data within the template, you send the data as a part of which parameters? Context parameters. How you send it? As a part of context parameters. Context parameters. Okay, where you are writing a response, you'll write like this now, render, and you send a request, comma, you'll give the template name, you define the template name, comma, you define which parameters, context parameters. And context parameter is a dictionary, and this contain the key and values. Context parameters are dictionary which contain the key and values. Okay. But how can I send values to this template? How can I send values to the template? You can send the values to the template. Assume that this is employee info page. Okay, assume that any page you take, suppose student info page or say student info view. Okay, this will display whose details, student details. Okay, this will display whose details, student details by rendering into one template. It will display the student details by rendering into what template. Okay, so here I'm giving a template name, and what is the template name is some student dot html. And in this template, I want to insert data. In this template, I want to insert data. Okay, so in this template, I want to insert the data. What 5 seconds? If I what is that? What is 5 seconds here? Where? HTML, right? Oh, JavaScript है यार. अरे, talk about Django. Okay. Animation, animations. Uh, okay, right now in this template, I want to insert whose data? Student data. And you see, whatever you learn in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you include inside template. Whatever you want, you do it. Okay, na? Yes, that is a static only, right? Okay. So that is a static. Whatever you learn, CSS styles are there now. There are different styles are there. You can include all the styles as a part of your template. Okay, template is nothing but HTML. Template means something else at HTML. HTML. But this HTML is static or dynamic? Dynamic. Because you are inserting data and generating some dynamic page. Dynamic page or dynamic output. Okay. Now I want to insert data into this template. If I want to insert data inside this template, I require a context or not? Yes. Then how can I get the context? I can get the context by using a superclass. And what is a superclass for the student info view is template view. You'll try to say super dot. You'll say super dot. And what is the name of the method is get context data. What is the name of the method is get context data. Context data means you call the dictionary of which class? Super class, because that will render into what template. So context contain a lot of data, right? So you said super dot get context data, and this will return which one? Context. And context is a dictionary or not? Yes, which contain the key and values. Now you can define the context. So context of, you can define the data. So what data you wanted? Suppose this is what here? Roll number. This is what your roll number. I just define the roll number. Okay. And I'm writing here context. You can write as a dictionary. For example, you want to put everything as a dictionary. You can put as a dictionary. Suppose student info is a dictionary. What it contain? Student details. What it contain? Student details like there is a roll number, and there is a roll number, and there is a name, and you'll try to define what here? Name. Okay, there is a, yeah, there is a course. Okay, there is a course, and I try to define what here? Course. So this is a context of data. Means this data I want to store into context. I'm writing a context of what is the context name is? Context parameter name is what? STUD. What is the context parameter name is? STUD. And what is the value of this is? Student STUD info. What is the value is STUD info. What is the value is stud info? Are you getting or not? Generally, actually what you are doing it, you are writing a response. Okay, response equal to render. Are you writing this code or not writing this code? Not writing this code. You are not writing this code. Are you writing this code or not writing this code? Not writing this code. Okay. So response equal to render. What do you send? Request comma request. You are rendering request data, context data into one template. You are rendering request data, context data into template. But how you are sending the context data? By using one parameter called what? Context. By using one parameter called what? Context. And this context is a dictionary or not? Yes. What it contain? Key and value. What is a key is stud. What is a key is stud. What is a value is stud info. See, this is how I'm sending it. Here, what is the context now? Context is a dictionary or not? Yes. What it contain? Key. You are adding it. What is the syntax is? Adding. How you add the data in dictionary? How to add a data in dictionary? How you add a data in dictionary? I create a dictionary. Dictionary one. Dictionary one is empty or not? Yes. How can you add it? Dictionary one of key equal to value. Dictionary one of key equal to value. Dictionary one of key equal to value. What this syntax is do? This syntax will do two operations. One is adding and one more is updating. If the key is not there, it will add 1 with the value 10. If the key is not there, it will add the 20 with the value 2 with the value 20. If the key is not there, it will add the 3 with the value 40. If the key is already there, what will it do? Update. If key exists, it will update. If the key is not exist, add. Now, what is the context in this case? What is the context in this case? Dictionary. What is the context in this case? Dictionary. And dictionary contain what you are adding in the context? Key. What is the key is? STUD. What is the value is? Student info. What is the key is? STUD. What is the value is? STUD info. And this data is rendered within what? Template. This data is rendered within what? Template. But are you sending it? No. You're not sending it. You're just adding to the context by getting the context object of which class? Superclass. And what is the superclass is? Template view. So template view is having a get context data that returns what? Context. You can also override. You can also override which method? What is the name of this method is? Get context data. Okay, now this will return super dot get context data with keyword arguments. Okay. Now what you are trying to do is, see here, I'm trying to override it. What I'm doing? I'm overriding which method? Superclass method. I'm overriding which method? Superclass method. And what is the superclass this is? What is the superclass for this is? Template view. Which method is override? Get context data, because I want to add more data. I want to add more data, and you call get context data method of which class? Superclass. And that will return the context, and then student info is added within the context, and it will return. And it will return where it is written to template. Where it is written to template. You have to understand this. This is equivalent to what I'm telling you is this is equal to what? A render. This complete thing is related with a render request comma, template name comma, context equal to. You are sending the context value to the template. You are sending the values to the, you are sending the context values to the template by using which parameter? Context parameter. And here, how can I get the context? How can I get the context? I can get the context by using a method called what? Get context data. I can get the context by using which method? Get context data. This get context data executed by template engine to insert the data within what? To insert the data within what? Template. What is the name of the template is student.html. Okay, it is returning the context to the template. Where it is returning the context to template. What context is having? Information. What is that information is? Key, and one more is what? Value. Key and value. Now create a template. What is the name of the template is? What is the name of the template? Student.html. What is the name of the template? Student.html. Student.html is a template. Student.html is a template. Now here I want to insert whose data? Student data. What is the key? What is the key? STUD. What is the key? STUD. STUD is a key or not? Yes. STUD is a key. And what are the values? Roll number, name, course. Roll number, name, and course. I want to display this data. I want to display this data. Now I said paragraph. Now this is student. I just write student roll number. Insert stud dot roll number. So this is a paragraph. I said student name. Okay, student name. Student name. Insert stud dot what is this here? Name. So paragraph. And I'm writing here student course. Student course. Insert student dot what is that? Course. Now this data is sent to what? Template. This data is sent to template as which parameter? Context parameter. Context parameter. What context parameter is? STUD. Key is a STUD and value is a roll number. You have to understand this. What is the name of the method is get context data. See here, this is a method. What is the name of the method? Get context data is a method. So what this get context method is doing is it is trying to return. See here, get context data. Return a dictionary representing the template context. The keyword argument provided make it return context. So if you want to add some data to the template context, you should get the reference of which one? Template context. And how you are getting the reference of the template context? By using a method called what? Get context data. By using a method called get context data. Now you override this method. See, in this I said get context data. I override this method. And this method calls the get context data method of which class? Super class. And that returns the context, template context or not? Yes. Within that template context, you are adding what? Data. Within the template context, you are adding the data as a key and value. You are adding the data as a key and value, and then you are returning context. And this context refers to which context? Template context. It refers to which context? Template context. And inside the template, are you inserting this data or not? Yes. Now, what is the data? Roll number, name, and course. Just as here, define the URL. So this is home page, and this is student info view. So define the path. So this is useful for creating which pages, landing pages, home page, some landing page in or contact pages. Okay, some landing pages you'll have, right? So that kind of things you can develop it by using what? Template view. As done by using template view. Now this is student info view as which class? View class. As a view class, this is how it is done. Okay, right? Now run this. What is the name of the view is student info. Student info. Now you can see this is roll number, name, and this is course. This is roll number, name, and what is that? Course. Understood? Tell me here. Okay, what template view is used for? Template view is used for rendering template by including which values? Context values and generating response. Okay, by including context values and generating the response. That is done by which view here? Template view. And how you are creating a template view? By using, by inheriting which class? Template view class. And template view class is exists in django.views.generic.base module. So template view is used only for displaying certain pages. Which pages? Generally in application development it is used for displaying only static pages, not dynamic. If it is dynamic, okay, you send the data from view to what? Template. You send the data from view to template. Ring or not? You send the data from view to template. But this is which class? Template view class. So it is used for displaying most of the times in application development. It is used for displaying which views? Static templates or dynamic? Static templates, not dynamic. If it is dynamic, you should insert some data and display it. You may read the data from database. You may read the data from different sources. Then you send it to what? Template. Yeah, for that you have to override again post method. Okay, but here you don't require, right? So that can be avoided. That code redundancy can be avoided by simply writing what? Template view. Like home page, registration page, huh? Like you have a login page, okay, which doesn't require any dynamic content. So such things can be displayed by using which view? Template view. Okay, but all the things you don't display it by using which view? Template view. Okay, in this we are using one method. And what is the name of this method is? Yes. Okay. Now there is a method called get context data. This get context data represent which context? This get context data represent which context? Template context. So written dictionary representing the template context. What is context? I should ask that question. Huh? What is the meaning of context here? Okay, suppose there is a class. There is a class called alpha. Alpha is the class. Okay, now here I am creating some, what is this now? Constructor. Inside the constructor, I am creating some variables. Instance variables. There is X and there is a Y. How many variables I created? Two variables. So these are instance variables or not? Yes. So where instance variables are created? Inside the, inside the, inside the, सही है यार, inside object. Inside the object. Where instance? Inside constructor है. Where instance variables are created inside the object. Whenever you create object, your object is created with which variables? Instance variables. Instance variables belongs to what? Object. Array. So I write here obj1 equal to what here? A. Now the A or alpha. What is the name of the class is? Alpha. Means I created object of which class? Alpha class. Alpha class object is created. Tell me what is the name of the object is? Object 1. Whenever you create object, your object is created by invoking constructor. And this constructor create how many variables inside this object? Two variables. One is x whose value is 100. One more is y whose value is what? 200. So where these variables are created in object. where these variables are created within object, means within object context. Within object context, instance variables are created within object context. Context is environment. Context can be called as what here? Environment. Means it is created in which environment? Object environment. This is a class context. This is what? Object context. This is classroom context. You are inside the classroom right now. This is one context. Template context. So template is having his own workspace or not? Yes. Within that workspace, it will create what? Context values. How you access this? How you access this? You access this with what name? Object name. For example, this is your program. Okay, this is your program. Some program one dot py. Here I'll write x equal to 100 and y equal to 200. And these variables are which variables? Global variables. These are which variables? Global variables. Where those global variables are created in? Generally in memory somewhere it will create or not. Yes. Local variables are created within function context. Yes or no? Because local variables belongs to what? Function. Global variables belongs to program. So there will be a global context or not? Yes. Where it will try to store which variables? Global variables. Global context. You'll say no, globals. Globals function you'll use, right? To get the reference of which names? Global names. Means where these are created in one? Yes. There is one workspace where it will create all these variables. Where it will create in one context. What is that context is? Global context. And that global context is module name, or if you want to get it, you can get it by using a function called globals. But where local variables are created in function context, where it is created. So context is nothing but the environment or the workspace where it is created. So this is instance variables. For example, you create a class variables, right? Class variables. Outside the class, sorry, outside the methods, you'll write here. What you write here? Some z equal to 900. Z is which variable? Class variable. Z is which variable? Class variable. Where this variable is created in? Class context. Which context? Class context. How you access this variable with? Class name. How you access this variable with? Object name. Yes or no? How you access this variable outside the class? Module name. Outside the program. Suppose you import this in another program, program2.py. Here I'll say import which one? Program 1. Import program 1. Then how you access this x and y with? Program 1.x, program 1.y. Correct or not? So every object is having some context in which it lives. You live in which context? Suppose you live in which context? Hyderabad. That is a context where you live, where it is available, right? So belongs to what? Belongs to that you can call it as which one? Context. Now I want to get the reference of which context? Template context. Then how I'm getting the reference of the template context? By using a method called get context data. What is the name of the method is? Get context data, and this returns a dictionary representing the template context. And the keyword arguments provided will make up returned what? Context. Returned context. Returned context.
हाँ
Right? So
कॉन्टेक्स्ट
that is
कौन
what
सी
you
ठीक है
written
ठीक है
here.
इतने होना कौन
So by saying super dot, what you have written here? Super dot get context data, because are you override the method or not? Yes, you override get context data method because you want to add more data. You want to add more data. Okay, then how you are adding more data? By getting the template context, and within that context you are adding the key and value, and then you are returning this context. Who call the get context method is template engine. Who call the get context method is template engine to render or to send this data to which template? Student.html. Getting or not? What do you say here? Okay, so this is a method which you need to override. This is which method? This is which method? Overriding method. Superclass method is which method? Overridden method. Overridden method. Overriding method. Overridden method. Overriding method. Because you cannot write the code directly in the class. Okay, will you write the code directly in the class without writing any methods? No. Everything should be written inside a method. Then you write a method. What is the name of the method is get context data. Understood? Bolo here. Yesterday you write exam.
କାଲିର ଏକ୍ଜାମ କଥା
चले गया
ପଚାରୁଛି
कैसे लिखे
କେମିତି ଲେଖିଛ ବୋଲି ପଚାରୁଛି।
12 अच्छा लिखे क्या पूछे यार पाइथन में सिर्फ पाइथन ही आया 15 questions no aptitude nothing no HTML uh, only Python MCQs
କିଛି ନାହିଁ
कोडिंग
MCQ
है खत्म हो गया हाँ?
खत्म हो
जो
गया
नहीं
बस।
पूछना था वही पूछा उन्होंने हाँ? no नहीं but last time they asked this aptitude and everything अच्छा हुआ जो नहीं पूछना तो पूछ लिए वो लोग हाँ? जो आप वीक है जिसमें आप वीक है वही पूछे
Yes,
कोडिंग नहीं आता आप लोगों को
नहीं आता तो क्या करें।
ओके sign up login page using oops हाँ डिक्शनरी है
Using dictionary.
हाँ लिखिए क्या फिर हो जाता सेलेक्ट होते
अच्छा वाला मजा करो।
नहीं नहीं मैं नहीं हम लोग को नहीं देते क्यों बोले तो लीक हो जाता क्वेश्चन
ସେ ମାସ ଥରେ ଏକ୍ଜାମ କରିକି ସେ ବେସିସରେ ଟିକେ ପଢେଇଥିଲେ
हम लोग नहीं देते क्यों बोले तो हम लोग स्टूडेंट्स के फेवर
ଆମେ
रहते हैं ना
କରିଲେ କରିଦଉଛନ୍ତି।
थोड़ा बहुत
ସେଇଟା କାଳେ କିଛି କହିବେ
इजी पूछते बोल के नहीं देते somebody will set और 15 programs you have to write how many programs they asked 2 programs 3 to 4 out of
ଡେକୋରେଟର ଏକାଥରେ ଗୋଟେ ମାନେ ଯୋଉଟା
अब अच्छा चॉइस है फिर
ବୁଝୁନି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଯୋଉ କ୍ଲାସ ମେଥଡର ସେଇଟା ମତେ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ଜଣା ଥିଲା
theory okay theory what theory they asked
ସେଇଟା ମାଛଟା ଟିକେ ହେଇଥାଏ
Instance method.
अरे who asked that question यार who will ask that question what is the difference between C and Python no why Python is why Python is written in C okay slower okay slower why Python is very slow compared to C okay why C is faster than Python because it's compiled and execute here it is compiled interpreted and execute takes more time बस वो एक ही 5 marks
ସେ ଇଣ୍ଟରପ୍ରିଟ କରୁଛି
Two reasons.
ପାଇଥନ୍ ରେ ଫାଷ୍ଟ କମ୍ପାଇଲ୍ଡ ହେଇ ତାପରେ ଇଣ୍ଟରପ୍ରିଟ କରୁଛି।
No problem.
ନା ଦେବ ଗୋଟେ ଦୁଇ
And any theory?
ଓ ଏକ ଶୂନ ତ
ଆଇବନି ହଁ ଏତିକି ଅଛି
Parameters. Easy. Easy questions.
ଦେବ ଦେଖିକି ଭାବିଲି ଶୁଣ ଆଗ
100 out of 100.
ତାପରେ ଧରି ଟିକେ ବଇଲି ଭାବିଲୁ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ କଡା କଡା ଏମିତି ଲେଖି ଆଉଛି ୟାର ନହେଲେ ହାତ
Anyway, programs they asked only that. Logical they asked any programs like which are very very tough, like lead code and code chef kind of things. No.
ଡବଲ ଇକ୍ୱାଲିଟି ଆଇଡେଣ୍ଟି
Decorators. अच्छा है.
କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଭଲ ଥିଲା ଆଗ ଯେ
ମାନେ କହିଲି ପୁରା ଟିକେ
फालतू
ପ୍ରିପେୟାର
questions पूछे
ହେଇଥାନ୍ତେ
फिर.
ବୋଲେ ଯାହା ହେଲେ 30 ଆଇଥାନ୍ତା 30 40 ଆଇଥାନ୍ତା ମାର୍କ
आराम से लिख सकते थे.
नेस्टेड लिस्ट
Decorators. Nested list देखो. Nested list. List. बहुत इजी है क्वेश्चन पेपर फिर. हाँ? है क्या क्वेश्चन पेपर? पिक्चर ले लिए, गलती हो गया. पिक्चर नहीं लिए. मोबाइल नॉट अलाउड. अलाउड है. चैट जीपीटी देखे क्या? मालूम है मेरे को.
ସପ୍ତାହ
So
ସପ୍ତାହ
actually in
ନହେଲେ ମାସେ
application
ମାସେ ଏକ୍ଜାମ ଦେଇ
development,
କରୁଥାତେ
compilation errors, runtime errors, logical errors.
କରିଥିଲେ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା
एग्जाम्पल दे सकते हैं ना. अभी देखो बहुत सारे एरर्स आता है. आप तो पूरा एरर्स में रहते हैं.
ଗାଡ଼ି କଲେ ହବ କେବି ରାଉରା ଅଛି ନା ୟୁଟ୍ୟୁବ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ
ଭିଡିଓ ଅଛି
Most of the times you'll get errors only.
ଯୋଉଟା ଜଣା ପଡିବନି ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଭିଡିଓ କାଢିବା ଆଉ ସବୁ ଜାଗା ଦେଖିବା
ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ଅଧଘଣ୍ଟା ଏମିତି ପଢିବ ତାପରେ ଆଉ ଅଧଘଣ୍ଟା ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ ଘଣ୍ଟା
ଭଲ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା ବା ମନ ରହିଥାନ୍ତା ଟିକେ
So get context data. This returns a dictionary representing the template context. I hope you should get you should select, and after selecting they'll give again training here. They'll give the training on data structures and algorithms. Might be. I don't know because this is dynamic.
स्कूल रे जब पीरियड टा
एक
नहीं
एक बार
होगा
एक एक पूछ रहे लोग.
पीरियड में हम डिस्कस करेंगे
That's the reason question कैसे रहते बोले मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. Last time they asked aptitude, reasoning, HTML, CSS, SQL, Django, everything they asked. Okay, but this time I don't know. They concentrated only on this.
because of କେବି ରାଉ sir ତାରା ହେଇଥିବ ଏ क्वेश्चन पर ଦେଖୁଛି ମାଷ୍ଟର ରଖିଛି ଆହୁରି ପଚାରୁଛି କଣ କଣ
ପଚାରିଥିଲି ଦାଦା
କାଲି ଦେଖୁଛି ଆଇଛି କଣ
ଏଇଟା ହେଲେ କଣ ଡିଫଲ୍ଟ କଣ ମ୍ୟୁଟ ହେଲେ ଏଇଟା ହେଲେ କିଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ନାହିଁ ଆମର ଜଣା ପଡିଲାନି
मालूम है ना ये
आउटपुट जाएगा पर एक्सप्लेन द आउटपुट
पास बाय रेफरेंस है.
ଏଇଟା ବା ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଦେଖିଥାନ୍ତେ ବୋଲେ ମାନେ ଏତେ ବି କିଛି
बहुत इजी है. देखो एक इंस्टेंस मेथड लिखो, एक स्टैटिक मेथड लिखो, एक
क्लास मेथड
बहुत इजी है.
ହଁ ସମିସ୍ ତ ହେଇଗଲା ଏଇଟା ଏତେ କିଛି ଜଣା ପଡିଲାନି 14 ନମ୍ବରଟା
आउटपुट वैल्यू
अच्छा हुआ.
ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ହେଲେ ଯୋଉ ପଡିଥିଲା ଗୋଟେ
See, if you
କମ୍ପାଇଲର
know the
କମ୍ପାଇଲର
subject, it
ଟାଇପ
is
ର
easy.
ଲଜିକାଲ
हाँ?
ସଫ୍ଟୱେର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦିଅ ବୋଲି
नहीं तो
ସେଇଟା ବି କଣ କଷ୍ଟ କି 5 ମାର୍କ
खत्म.
ଲେଖିଥିଲେ ଆଇଥାନ୍ତା ନା
हाँ?
that explain
So anyway, Okay, come to this here.
Mona apple.
Get context data
Like
return, but
compile
most of the
time
placements they will
compile
do
time
on
ରେ
Django Flask only.
appear ହଉଛି
So you must be know this Django
run
and
time run
Flask.
time
After
ହଉଛି
selecting also, most of the
ଆଉ ସେ
companies
ଯୋଉ
comes only
ଲଜିକ
for
ପରା
web development,
ଲଜିକ ରେ
like
ଖାଲି ଟିକେ
Django
ସେ
Flask,
ଯୋଉ ଗ୍ରେଟର
and they
ଦେନ୍
should know
ଇକ୍ୱାଲ
HTML,
ସେଟା ଟିକେ ଏପଟ
CSS,
ସେପଟ
JavaScript,
କରିଦେଇଛି ଲଜିକ ଟାଇପ ର
everything.
ଏରର ବୋଲି
Okay, na?
ଦେଇଛି
So that's the reason this is also very important. Okay, so anyway, get context data returns a dictionary. Okay, see here, the template context of all classes, class-based generic views include a view variable that points to which one? View instance. What is the superclass for this is view. Are you write any get method or post method here? No. But always the request is processed by invoking which method? Get method. But is it any get method is there in the view class?
ସମାନ
Is it
ଛିଡେଇ
any get
ଦେଇଛି
method is there in the view class? No, there is no get method in what? View class.
ଗୋଟେ ଥର ଲେଖା ଛିଡେଇ
There is no
ଦେଇଛି
get method in which class? View class. I used to tell every class like dictionaries, list, we have seen login
ତୋ ତ ବିଟି
functions,
ଦେଖି ଯାଇଥିବି
login
ଆଉ
examples,
ଏମିତି ଦିଟା
sign
ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ
in,
ଟିକେ
sign
ଟିକେ
up.
ଦେଖିଥିବେ
मैं क्लास में बोला नहीं, so I thought इसलिए पूछे क्या मैं सेट करा बोल के, हाँ? But it is very easy. Questions are very
ହଁ
easy.
ଲେଖିଦେଇଥିବେ ପୁଅ
Three
ପିଲା ତ ପ୍ରାୟ
questions means
ଲେଖିଦେଇଥିବେ
30 marks. Huh? You have to do three questions, right? 15 questions. You have to do
ମତେ ତ
15
ସେ
questions. How many
କଲେଜ ଏକ୍ସାମ
marks?
କଥା ମନେ ପଡିଲା ସେଠି
30
ବହି
marks.
ଲେଖିଲା ସେଇଠି ସିନା
Each
ଗାରେଇ
5
ଦଉଥିଲି
marks each one.
ଏଇଠି କଣ ଗାରେଇ
Okay.
ଗାରେଇଲେ ମିଳିବନି
मगर
କିଛି
how many suppose if 400 students are written, they filter only 50 students, 50 to 70 are based on their requirement. जो top आता अंदर है नहीं तो फिर next time you have to write it. Okay, so that depends on the number of marks. Okay, na? They'll also check the logic, how much logic you have. Okay, so in application development, time waste हो गया यार. In application development, okay, template view is used for displaying, generally for displaying which template? Static templates. Generally use it for displaying which template? Static templates. And not only that, this template view is
ପେପର ଦେଖୁ
inherited
ଦେଖୁ
by
ଜାଣିଦେବେ ପିଲାଟା ହଁ
other
ଲେଖିଛି
other view
ବୋଲିକି
classes. Other view classes for generating what is that? Output. So to understand how this template render the data, you learn what is the name of the classes? Template view class. Okay, you can see that where template views are used. Okay, so this is a template view. You can see the Django template view is a simple class based generic view that renders a specified template with optional context. Means which doesn't require what? Context. Which doesn't require what? Context. Means which doesn't require to insert the data. Which doesn't require to insert the data within what?
ଭାଲେଣ୍ଟାଇନ
That actually uses which method? Get method. Do not involve form submission or complex database interaction. For that, you don't use which view? Template view. Because using template view, you are not interacting with any database. Using template view, you don't insert any data within what? Template. Such cases, you go for which view? Template view. It is only for displaying which pages? Static pages, right? So this is an example for that. I'll just copy this example. Okay. So nothing more on this. Nothing more on this here. So this is views.py. So there is another view. There is another view called redirect view. There is another view called redirect template view or redirect view. Now this is some home.html and this is some student.html. इसीलिए क्लास में मैं बोलता हूँ you have to write the exam. Okay, पहले मैं कंडक्ट करता था एग्जाम वीकली टेस्ट और
ହଁ
बाद
ବା
में
ଇଏ
छोड़ दिए
କରୁଥିଲା
क्यों
ୱିକଲି ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ୱିକଲି ଟେଷ୍ଟ କରୁଥିଲେ ପୁଣି ଆଙ୍କେ
हम लोग मैं छोड़ दिया
ତାପରେ ଛାଡ଼ିଦେଲି ବୋଲି କହୁଛି
मैं छोड़ दिया आप छोड़ दिए मैं छोड़ दिया आप छोड़ दिए हैं आप लोग नहीं लिखते थे यू आर नॉट राइटिंग
କେଭିରେ ଆଉ ଟିକେ କରିଥିଲେ ହେଇନଥାନ୍ତା
हर एक बैच में ऐसे ही होता है फर्स्ट फर्स्ट 3-4 वीक्स लिखते हैं बाद में खत्म हाँ बस नहीं रहना यार if you write those tests now it will become very easy for attending this okay that's the reason exam लिखो बोलता हूँ मैं
ଭୟ ହଉନି ଆଜି ରେକର୍ଡିଂ ଚାଲିଛି
क्या फाइनल एग्जाम क्या फाइनल एग्जाम यार कौन सा फाइनल एग्जाम सर्टिफिकेट लेने के लिए यू वांट सर्टिफिकेट सर्वर no exams you can take certificate directly okay then there is one more view and what is the name of this view is redirect view there is one more view called a redirect view you got a certificate huh?
ପୁରା ମଜାକ
without
ଉଡେଇଲା
completing
ଭଳିଆ
the course
ଉଡଉଛି
who given
ଭାବିଥା
certificate here huh? without completing course was given
ଦେବେ ଦେବେ ସାର୍ଟିଫିକେଟ
नरेश रेड्डी है हाँ गैम्बलिंग करे फिर आप लोग हाँ so redirect view now this is one more view it is one more class based view
ପୁରା ମଜା
redirecting okay some reasons okay no problem in Django redirect view is a built-in base class that handle HTTP redirects to a specific URL providing a shortcut when you only need to redirect a user and don't need to render a template. So generally, this redirection is done by using which method? Redirect. We have seen one function, right? What is the name of the function is redirect. Now, when you don't want to redirect, when you want to redirect, redirecting is nothing but what is the meaning of redirect? What is the meaning of redirect? Redirect means in redirect, what do you define here? URL. In redirect, this URL is given to what? Browser. And URL is given to what? Browser. And browser uses this URL and send a request to whom? Server. Browser uses this URL and send a request to what? Server. That is done by using which one? Redirect. So the same thing you can achieve it. The same thing you can achieve it by using which view? Redirect view. Same thing you can achieve it by using which view? Redirect view. That is suppose after adding employee, you are redirecting to which view? List view. After deleting employee, you are redirecting to which view? After deleting an employee, you are redirecting to which view? List view. After sign up, you are redirecting to which view? Login view. Getting on it. So it is a view. It is a view. It is a view which will communicate with the database, which will read the data, which include that data into template and send it to home? Client. So in that case, you can go for which view? Redirect view. You can go for which one? Redirect view. So it will handle HTTP requests. It will handle what here? HTTP request. Okay. Yes. I just copy this. I'm not I'm not typing it. So
Fine. The
redirect
phone
view
was
in
typing.
Django,
Phone sound. Zoom
the
the
redirect view
Zoom
is having only one attribute. And what is the name of the attribute is redirect URL. Like in template view, there is one attribute. What is the name of the attribute? Template name. Okay, you need to define only template name. And here what you need to define? Redirect URL. You want to redirect to which URL? You want to redirect to which URL? Okay. You want to redirect to which URL? You have to define that. So yeah, this is the redirect. So you are trying to define the parameter and you are trying to define what? Query string. And you need to define. See, this is super class redirect view. It is having get redirect URL and you are trying to say return. And here you have to define what name? View name. You have to define which name? View name. Generally, most of the times you'll try to redirect it to what? View. Redirect it to which one? View. It means how one view calls another view. Tell me how one view calls another view. Redirect. How one view calls another
The class
view?
was
Redirect.
recording.
Because always view must be called by whom? Server. Always the view must be called by whom? Server by sending values or not? Yes, you cannot call. Even though view is a function, one function can call what? Another function. But can you call one view function inside another view function? No. That has to be called by whom? Server. Then who will send a request to the server? Who will send the request to the server? Client. Who will send a request to the server? Client. Then whatever view you want to call, that URL you have to send from server to whom? Client. Your client is nothing but what? Browser. Your client is nothing but what? Browser. And browser will prepare a request and send it to whom? Server. But one view cannot call directly inside what? Another view. One view you cannot call it inside directly in another view. If you want to call it, you have to call it by using which one? Redirect. You have to call it by using redirect. Okay. Yes. Redirect view. Now what is the syntax of this? Is see URL here URL defines what it defines here? View. URL defines a view to send, okay, to which client to send what? To which client to send a request or redirect. Okay, redirect. So what is the syntax? What is the syntax of developing this redirect view? What is the syntax of developing this redirect view? So there is a class. You are writing like this. There is a class and define the class name, and this is a class name. It's nothing but this is your subclass. This is which name? Subclass name. And inherit. Inherit which view class? Redirect view class. And here you have some you have some attributes. And these attributes are predefined attributes. And what are the attributes is parameters. What are the attributes here? Parameters. Now you want to send values. You can send the values by using which attribute? Parameters. You can send attributes, you can send values as a query string. Means by concatenating with what? URL. Then what is the name of the attribute is? Query string. What is the difference between parameter and query string? So these parameters and both parameters and query string, both will be concatenated with what? URL. Whenever you send a request, whenever you send a request by using which one? Whenever you send a request using get method, okay, whatever values you are sending, those values are concatenated with URL as which one? Query string. Okay, that is as a key and value. But URL is having parameters or not? Yes. But these are which parameters? Captured parameters. These are which parameters? Captured parameters. Means one view want to send a values to what? Another view. That view is having parameters. Then how you send it? By using one attribute called parameters. Parameters, or you can send as a part of which object? Request object as what? Query string. You can send as a part of request object using the query string. But how you can redirect it? By overriding. Now this redirect view class, it is a base class. Okay, this redirect view class, it is a base class. See here. What are the base classes here? View, template view, and one more is a redirect view. Actually, all these classes are used by predefined other view classes like create view, edit view, delete view. Suppose you delete one record. After deleting, will you redirect it or not? Yes. Then that delete view should inherit which class? View class. It should inherit which class? View class. Which view class it inherit? Redirect view class. It will inherit which class? Redirect view class. And that redirect view class, it will redirect after deleting, it will redirect to a specific view. In the same way, create view is there. Create view is a predefined class, and that also inherit which class? Redirect view class. And redirect after creating a record, it will redirect to what? One view. Now, whichever view you define, you that view will be called. Because of that, you are saying these are which classes? Base view classes. Because of that, you are saying these are which classes? Base view classes. It means these are the classes which are helpful in developing other view classes. But in application development, you never use this. In application development, you never use this. When you required, then only use it. Otherwise, you don't use this. When you required, then only use this. Otherwise, you don't use this. Understood? So one method you have to override. And what is the method you have to override is get a redirect URL. By using this, you try to define the URL and you send parameters. You send parameters as a part of this, what do you call it as? Uh, get a redirect URL. That will return URL. That will get the reference of which one? URL, which is defined as a part of URL patterns, which is defined as a part of which one? URL patterns. So you have to override one method. What is the name of this method is? Get a redirect URL. So that will return the reference of what? View. And to that view, you can send what? Values. You can send the values as a captured parameters or as what? Query string. Okay. No, see, generally, how you call any template? By using view only. Can you open HTML directly from the Django application? No. Anything you want in Django, it has to be done only through view. Who will give the template? View. Yes. Who will communicate with the database? View. Everything is done by the view only. You cannot do it directly. You cannot do it what? Directly, right? So you need to override one method. And what is the name of the method is get a redirect URL. Constructs the target URL for redirection. Okay, construct the target URL for redirection. Okay, the arguments and keyword arguments are positional and keyword arguments. This represent what? Captured from URL patterns. Okay. Then the default implementation uses URL as what? String, and perform expansion or what do you call it as replacement by using which parameters? Percentage, which are nothing but named parameters. It uses what? Named parameters for replacing values. Let us talk about this otherwise with the example. But one method you have to override here. And what is the name of the method is? What is the name of the method you have to override? Get a redirect URL. This method has to be override to get which URL? The URL which is defined in which one? URLs dot py. To get the URL defined in what? URLs dot py. So that I can use that URL and redirect to specific view. Are getting or not? But I'm saying no, these are not used. You don't use these classes directly. These classes you don't use it what? Directly. These classes are inherited by other other view classes. Other view classes means I said already. Edit view, create view, delete view. All these are which view classes? Pre details view, list view. All these classes are inherited from which classes? View class, template view class. All these are inherited from which classes? View class and template view class. Now you want to display the content. You just inherit which class? List view class, and give the template name, give the context name. That's all. But internally, what it is doing? It is getting the context of which template? Template view class. And that template view, it is calling which method? Get method or post method of which class? View class. That's the reason I said what is a view, what is a redirect view, what is a template view, because all these are inherited by other classes. To understand the flow, first you should know this. Understood? Otherwise, I'll tell you directly list view only. List view, list the content of database. Details view, display one record. Delete view, delete the record. Create view will create one record. Edit view will edit one record. Khatam. But if you want to know internal functionality of those views, now you should understand which classes. Which classes? Base view classes. If you don't know parent, if you don't know parent, what child content is it? You can understand child? No. Because child class contain all
पेपर करेक्शन
properties and
ತೆಗ್ದಿದಾವ
behavior
ಕೊರಿಯಕ್ಕೆ
of
ಇದು
which class?
ಗೊತ್ತಾಡ್ದು
Parent class.
ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು
Yes.
ಸರ್
This will take one more
ಡೆಕ್ಸ್ಟೋರಿಯಲ್
month here.
ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬರ್
Okay.
ಯಾಕೆ
So most of the students are asking, see, completing is not a big task. Complete करने हैं आपको बोलो मैं complete कर दूंगा. Then after that, what do you do it? What next? खत्म.
କଣ ଏବେ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ କର ନା କି
Huh?
ନା କି
Understood? Completing is not a big task. Completing, if you sit for one day, one Sunday you sit. एक संडे मेरा नहीं है, मैं कंप्लीट कर देता हूँ. मेरे को मालूम है कैसे कंप्लीट करना है. कंप्लीटिंग इज नॉट ए बिग टास्क.
कौन सा पूरा कंप्लीट
और
करो
बाद में क्या करते कंप्लीट करके? सब्जेक्ट आना कंप्लीट करना,
सब्जेक्ट चाहिए
सब्जेक्ट आना कंप्लीट करना, दो भी रहना, कंप्लीट होना, सब्जेक्ट भी आना, जल्दी होना, पूरा होना, जॉब भी होना. हाँ? क्या यार, एवरीथिंग यू वांट इट एनीवे. So ऐसे मैं भी ऐसे ही बोल रहा था यार, नॉट डोंट टेक सीरियस. दिल पे नको लो, नहीं लो, नको, दिल पे नहीं लेना,
हिंदी
नहीं लेना. नको बोलो
नहीं
तो
लो
हैदराबादी. हैदराबाद में क्या बोलते हैं यार? कई को नको,
आइको नाको
आओ, आओ जाओ. हाँ? नको पूछो क्या कर रहे, क्यों, कई को आ रहे, किधर जा रहे, कई को. आप लोग क्यों बोलते इधर कई को? हाँ? थोड़ा डिफरेंट है ना? और wherever you go, they'll recognize. And when you go to some other place like दिल्ली और किधर तो भी गए तो होटल में बैठ के ऑर्डर दिए तो ना पहचान लेता है. ओके, ये किधर से उधर से ही आ गए बोल के. यू आर फ्रॉम हैदराबाद बोल के. सो लैंग्वेज ऐसा रहता. हाँ, अच्छा है फिर. नको यार. हाँ,
नको बोलला
मेरे को
तर
नको
मग
चढ़ाओ. हाँ, right. Anyway, Monday we'll see this redirect view and we'll complete. Don't worry. Huh? Thank you. We'll see you on Monday. Right.
ଏଇଟା ରେକର୍ଡ ଟା କଣ ହେ? କହୁଛି